Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, November 10, 2023. The time here is 12:46 p.m., which is Friday. And we are almost end of 2023. So the price of gold, it varies day to day. Our selling price is LBMA, which is based on London Bullion market. Now this bullion, this LBMA, they are the one who control of the pricing, and it changes every day, twice a day. So our selling price based on the world market demand. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. Now our selling price less 8%, tax included. Whether you are going to buy from us in Conakry, whether you're going to buy from us in Sierra Leone, whether you are going to buy from us in Mali. Now you're gonna say, well, Amina, what is your position? I am the extension of the seller. The seller hired Wilhelmina to handle sales and marketing on their behalf. I am their official mandate. That's the reason why this is my virtual office. And I am your business facilitator at the same time. Now, information is worth $1 million. Information is here in front of you, and no such seller is going to give you this kind of vital information. None whatsoever. And most of you are running around searching for gold and diamond. What happened? You landed into Wilhelmina. Why you landed into Wilhelmina? I'm the only person who show my face, and I'm the only person who showed everything. And if you click on the link in this YouTube channel, and you click on the link, you will redirected to my platform on Facebook. Now my platform on Facebook is very clear and very concise, and the full corporate offer is every page. Whether you search on YouTube and on Facebook, every picture has a message. Very explanatory. I don't know if you read it properly. You are buying unrefined, not refined. The refined is 99.99. So we are not selling 99.99, which is gold bullion. Gold has many uses, you must remember. So you are buying raw material, which is unrefined, 23 carats, 96 purity, 96, 97, 98. So don't be confused, because you are going to make into different uses. Either you make into jewelry. On my platform, there is a message on every picture. So I don't want to elaborate it, and if you don't comprehend to me, you're not a buyer. Now going back to the pricing of the gold. Our selling price is LBMA based on London Bullion market. Now the price, it changes every half an hour, morning and in the afternoon. So when you search supply, you talk to Wilhelmina, you will be given a fixed price. That fixed price good only for 14 days. Whatever the price of the day, we will give you that price until you confirm. But the price changes every day. So our selling price, less 8%, tax included. Now you're gonna see why tax included. I'm the one who requested my seller to waive the tax. In Sierra Leone, the tax used to be is 6.5. Now the government reduced it to 1.5 equals 5%. Right, on every bar, I'll get the calculator so that you will understand. Today is 63. $63,000, 200. The tax is 5% in Sierra Leone. Okay? Which is 3,016. The tax in every bar, 3,116. In Conakry, in Conakry, the tax 6.5, 63,200 times 6.5%. The tax, hang on, just a minute, because my calculator, just bear with me. So I'm educating you at the same time. So the tax in Sierra Leone is 3,160 every bar, which is 5%. In Conakry, the tax is 4,108 on every bar. In Mali, the tax is 4,424 on every bar. So, if you're buying gold and you don't have the money, you cannot afford to pay this gold because you have to pay cash bank to bank plus government sales tax. So, the seller would not explain to you like this. Even broker would not explain to you. Broker come to Alamina because they are looking for gold for their buyer. You can only get the gold when you read the full corporate offer. The full corporate offer is in front of you. If you pay attention, you're a winner. If you are not paying attention, collecting information, thinking you have the buyer, you wouldn't meet the criteria. If you come to Wilhelmina, you wouldn't. And if you keep on asking, send me the FCO Wilhelmina, you are not paying attention. Our full corporate offer is already in front of you. I will determine which seller I'm going to put you, either in Conakry. If you are from Dubai and Conakry is just one stop. Emirates fly twice a week. Either if you want to buy gold in Sierra Leone, I can put you in Sierra Leone. My seller is a real seller. That's the reason why the seller hired Wilhelmina, because the seller sick and tired dealing with scrupulous buyer. And also in Mali, the tax is 7%. I will repeat again. In Sierra Leone, the government reduced 1.5%. Used to be 6.5. Now it's 5%. In Conakry, 6.5. In Mali, 7%. So if you don't have the money and you're just roaming around comparing prices and you want to buy gold 1 kilo, it wouldn't work. This is not for you. You need to travel to buy. That's why I'm interviewing you. I am telling you now that a gold is money you are buying. You're buying money to make money, and then you keep on bargaining and bargaining. This is not for you. Gold is not for bargain. You own a shop. I walk into your shop and you don't like to bargain. You don't want me to bargain your product. Whatever the price is the price. The finished product. This is the finished product. I bought this in Dubai. I don't ask for bargain. They give me a discount a little bit because they want to make a sale. Now I'm giving you a discount because we want you to get the product from us. So you are hungry to buy, and Wilhelmina is hungry to service you at the same time. We are both hungry. The seller is hungry to sell and you're hungry to buy, and Wilhelmina is hungry to service you. So 3 of us is hungry. But we don't want to force you to buy. It doesn't matter if we're hungry. We have the gold, you have the money. Let's do business. Now going back to my explanation. Our selling price less 8%. Tax included. You're gonna say, well, Amina is too expensive. Well, you're buying expensive item, of course. Now, you convince Wilhelmina, I will give you a very good price because I'm going to charge you my services. In return, I'm going to give you 10% in return, or even 11%. Why I giving you? Because I'm charging you my services to accompany you in order to get the supply for your business. Now you have 2 options, Mr. Buyer. I will arrange to meet my seller. Before you're gonna meet my seller, you're gonna have a contract with us first. And I'm going to gather your vital information. Your business registration, your passport copy, importation license, and the proof of fund, your bank statement that you have standby fund available in your bank account before we are going to proceed, so that I would not waste my time dealing with you. Does that make sense? Now, you're gonna say, well, Amina, send me your mandate letter. It's a very good question. I don't know you yet, and you already met Wilhelmina. I will only send my mandate letter when you convince Wilhelmina, because I'm the one will screen you, and I have the power to reject you, and I have the power to negotiate on your behalf, and I have the power to advise my seller to proceed or not to proceed. Is that make sense now, Mr. Broker or Mr. Buyer? Now this is the contract the buyer signed few days ago, 5 days ago. I will discuss this buyer that is stuck in Sierra Leone. Our full corporate offer is very clear and simple. If you went to school, I assume you understand ABC. I'm sorry if I'm very blunt because I want to clean the bad image in Africa. I was being screwed when I handled sellers in Ghana, and I would not touch Ghana at all. That was my bad experience. Now, let us do business, Mr. Buyer or Mr. Broker, if you're working for the buyer. You already saw the full corporate offer. You went to my YouTube channel and you go through on my Facebook, meaning to say you are an authorized buyer's mandate, isn't it? Being an authorized, you come to Wilhelmina, and Wilhelmina's policy is very different from your policy. I don't deal with chain of joker broker. I prefer to deal with the buyer directly. That is the reason why I put everything on my platform. I'm going to scratch you as being a time waster. Buyer knows how to find nowadays a supply. Buyer is very smart. I will discuss this buyer that is stuck in Sierra Leone in a minute. Buyer has a phone. Buyer has a Wi-Fi. Buyer has a WhatsApp. Buyer has a bottom. Buyer has Skype. So he doesn't need chain of joker broker. He doesn't need. He doesn't need. No. Our full corporate offer is in front of you. I will determine which seller I'm going to place you, either in Conakry, or either in Sierra Leone, or either in Mali. The full corporate offer exactly the same. That when I'm going to advise my head office to send you a confirmation, because you already sent me your vital information, then you will receive the confirmation like this one on the company letterhead of my seller. I will be the one to advise my seller that I have interviewed you and you meet the criteria, then let us proceed the transaction. So then you will receive the export documentation, the mining license of my seller, and the banking details of my seller, and etc. etc. After you will be validated. After you will receive a letter of confirmation coming from my head office, because I advise the head office to proceed, then you will receive all documentation that you need to get it when you get the gold out of the country. It says in front of you. It says that you will receive the FCO. The FCO is already in front of you. You will only receive the official FCO on the company letterhead when you convince Wilhelmina, because all the FCO is in front of you. Very extensive, but you did not read. You did not read. You're gonna say, Wilhelmina, what is the carats and what is the price? I told you that the price less 8%. Wilhelmina, what is the carat? I already put this in front of you. The carat is 23. Wilhelmina, what is the purity? The purity is already in front of you. But you didn't go through because you're excited to meet this beautiful lady and very strict lady. You are going to fail. And you're going to say, Wilhelmina, send me the ownership and the assay report. You have not confirmed. You will only get the ownership and the certificate of clearance when you pay the products. Because gold is money. The gold will not given to you unless the gold will be assay first. Test first. Either you go to Sierra Leone, GGO. Either you go to Mali, the gold will be assay at DNGM. Whether you go to Conakry, you will be assay at geological government laboratory, the extension of the central bank. So you need to convince Wilhelmina, because you will not get the certificate of clearance unless you sign a contract with us, unless you place your order. I will scrutinize you properly, Mr. Buyer, so that you will not waste your time and my time. Now, let's discuss this buyer. This buyer is stuck in Sierra Leone. And he found me on my YouTube channel. And we have a video call. And he's a Nigerian, but he lives in America. His passport is Nigerian. And he's stuck in Sierra Leone for a month. And he said he's a buyer. Okay. I listened to him. And we exchanged. He sent me his passport copy, and he showed me his proof of fund, which is in euro. He has money, but he said to me that he has money in Sierra Leone in the bank, and he's been comparing prices to prices, and we have a very good live video call. And you must remember, when I interviewed you, our conversation is recorded for my file, so that when you muck around, I have the file. Now, if you muck around, yes, I'm going to expose you. But this buyer is a Nigerian. He asked me not to expose him, and I respect him. But I'm going to explain to this particular Nigerian buyer. And this buyer is scrupulous. Why I called him scrupulous? I arranged the meeting after he sent this 5 kilos contract. This is very simple contract. And it took him for 5 days to comprehend. And I told him that this contract is 5 kilos. So when I was talking to him last night, because I did arrange, he doesn't want me to travel. He said he's going to pay my services, but he was only bluffing. He's a bluffer Nigerian. That is why my seller, he's very hesitant to deal with Nigerian. Why? Most of the buyers are bluffer. So I call you bluffer because you bluff. And I don't bluff. I make an arrangement to meet my seller that you want 5 kilos, and then suddenly you said, okay, I want 20 kilos. So I told him, okay, there's no issue. So I arranged to meet the seller and the exporter, because the gold was kept into the vault of the security company. My seller has his own exporter. My seller has been in gold business for 10 years. Okay? My seller has 10 tons of gold. I have the SKR, but I would not release the SKR. Why? This SKR is very confidential. Now, going back to this Nigerian buyer. He met my seller. He thought that he would see the gold. My seller did not show the gold. He wanted to meet him first. So what this buyer and his local agent, he was been taking the document to picture it without the permission of the exporter and the seller. So that seller was already annoyed with this Nigerian buyer. Before I arranged the meeting with my seller, this Nigerian buyer says, oh, I have a partner in South Africa. He wanted the video and the picture on our name. This buyer is a red flag already. I told this buyer, we don't send the video anymore. The video is already on my platform, because we don't want that the fake buyer will use our video to solicit buyer. Now, on my platform, every pictures and video has a message in order not to duplicate. So what happened last night? The buyer failed to convince my seller. And he's in the contract, That is the reason why I always say I don't want to deal buyers already on the ground. Why? You're a window shopper. You've been comparing prices to prices, and no one will deal with you. A minute that you are on the ground, everybody knows you. So this buyer has a local broker. He took a pictures of my seller's documentation without asking permission. That is unprofessional. This buyer broke the protocol of my seller. So what happened? My seller sent me a video voice, and I have a conference with my seller, and I forwarded this voice conference with my seller to the buyer, and the buyer asked for apology. And he said, this buyer said, I did not realize that my assistant take a pictures of the documentation of the seller without my permission, Mrs. Ford. And I told him, you should be careful. Maybe you are scrupulous, maybe you are part of the syndicate. So my seller turned him down. I've given this buyer an opportunity because he was stuck in Sierra Leone. And I told my seller in the beginning, because my seller was hesitant to deal with Nigerian. Nigerian is scrupulous. It doesn't matter if he has the money. I told my seller, it doesn't matter if he is Nigerian. Open the window of opportunity. He has the money he can afford. But actually, he cannot afford. Why he cannot afford? He asked me to send a video. His partner wants to see it. His partner is from South Africa. To me, it's a red flag. In the beginning, he said he's a buyer. Why he has a partner? So therefore, he has no money. And in the beginning, he said he's going to send the gold to the refinery in Belgium. Now he changed that he's going to ship the gold to Dubai. So he's looking for a buyer. He's going to leverage. It's a red flag already, but I've given him the opportunity even though it's a red flag. So what happened last night? A failure. Yeah. This buyer signed a contract with us. But I will not show the full details. So Mr. Future Buyer or buyers already on the ground, you are really a bluffer. Why I call you a bluffer? You bluff yourself. You deceive yourself. You are part of the scam activities. You are part of the scrupulous activities. You are part of the syndicate. So you are dangerous to deal with. So my seller reject this Nigerian. He is in Sierra Leone. He said he has $1 million, and I told him I don't believe it. That proof of fund that he sent it to me, I don't think so that he has a million euro. Why he said that he has a partner? If I am the buyer, I don't need a partner because I have the money. This buyer from Nigeria is very smart. You cannot outsmart us because our conversation is recorded. The reason why I record it because I want to clean Africa's bad image. You travel to Africa thinking you can get the gold for free. Thinking you can get the gold cheap price. Gold is not cheap in Africa. Gold is F.O.B, cash business, bank-to-bank payment. Now going back to this buyer. He apologized to me, but I told the buyer, your apology is too late. My seller is not interested. In Africa, when the seller doesn't like you or disgust you, you would not get the gold. Last year, I took the buyer. He was sent out of the office. And there was a Pakistan guy, he knew me. He stayed at Nom Hotel. And I stayed at Nom Hotel. He didn't get the gold. He was dealing with my own seller. Failure. He was being offered cheap price. And he showed me the contract. And I told this Pakistan, he works for Dubai company. And I told him, go and meet the CEO. Because I know the signature of the contract is not my CEO. When he went to the office, he was being rejected. He wanted to bring the gold in Dubai CIF, cost, insurance, and freight only. How about paying the gold? Failure. Another husband and wife. The husband went to Conakry. He was dealing with my seller. Other sellers, in Conakry, I have 3 sellers. He showed me the picture. And I told this guy from Dubai, I know this seller. And he was being offered to pay taxes. That seller, the owner of the gold, using my seller's license. And when I talked to my seller, he said to me, no, Wilhelmina, I don't own the gold. The buyer used our license in order to prepare the export documentation. But the owner of the gold did not give the gold to the buyer from Dubai because the buyer from Dubai want only to pay taxes. He did pay the tax, this buyer from Dubai, but the gold didn't arrive. Why? The owner of the gold wanted the buyer to pay in full. See? So this buyer from Dubai is also scrupulous. His wife knows me. And he went to Dubai, returned to Dubai empty-handed. There's a lot of stories. Either the buyer and the seller. My seller in Conakry lost $24 million. Lost 450 kilos. Yeah, 2019. I told my seller, do not believe on buyer. Buyers are liars. Yeah. Another seller from Sierra Leone went to Dubai dealing with the Indian. And they traveled together in Dubai. This seller, he was distracted in the airport and he was being booked in the cheapest hotel. And he was being given drinks. And this seller, the poor seller from Sierra Leone, he fell asleep. The gold was taken in the room. When he woke up, the gold was missing. When he reported to the police authority, the Indian is not registered. Another seller went to Dubai, brought 45 kilos. He was being poisoned. Another seller brought the diamond transit in Nairobi. He went out in Nairobi and brought the 60 carats of gold confiscated, and he was being arrested. Why this representative went out of the airport that he has already KPC in his possession? Why he went out from the airport? Failure. There's a lot of seller wanting to cut corner. I have a bad experience dealing with buyers as well and sellers. I was being screwed in Ghana, you must remember. I handled sellers in Ghana 2011. I was screwed by a Mexican buyer called Eric Blasco and Martin Cortez 2014. I was being screwed. I learned out of that. And then you're gonna say, Wilhelmina, I don't deal with Wilhelmina because Wilhelmina is scammer. I don't know how much I scam this bastard. I don't know. So that is the reason why I'm going to expose you guys. And if I mention this Nigerian buyer, I'm telling you, he's gonna be embarrassed. So I warn you guys that do not muck around with us. I warn you. There was a buyer that he steal money in Australian bank account, pretending to be a buyer, and he deal with Mali. Mr. Seller and Mr. Buyer, do not deal with a buyer that cannot prove himself. There are so many thieves buyer using Africa to buy gold. There are so many thieves. Last night, someone took money into my bank account and I reported my $320 was stolen by the scrupulous hacker. That is why you guys don't play around. I reported to my bank that my bank account has been hacked. So I did change my password. Even though change my password, I always look into my online banking whether my money is still there. I have two account and I close my national bank account. So ladies and gentlemen, do not play around. And Mr. Seller, if you dealing with a scrupulous buyer, my advice to you, do not be excited. Do not be excited, because this industry, there are so many mafia, there's so many thieves, there's so many scrupulous. There are also good seller and bad seller. There's also good buyers and bad buyers, right? So vice versa. Last night I have lots of conference. So, oh, well, Amina, everybody knows you. Yeah, everybody knows me, but I don't know them. Mhm. Why they knows me? Because I'm always online. This is my virtual office, right? If I am a scammer, I would not show my face. You, joker broker and fake buyers, you're scared to open your camera. That is the reason why I always say open your camera, because I want to see it whether you're a buyer or not. So now this buyer from Nigeria is stuck in Sierra Leone for a month. And I've given him the opportunity. My seller rejected him. I told him, okay, because you don't want to pay my services and you already suck in Wilhelmina's advice, I've given you a window of opportunity. But when I arrange and there is an issue, don't come back to Wilhelmina, which is I was right. So last night, this paper contract is invalid because this buyer broke the protocol of my head office. When I was in Sierra Leone, because I have 3 different sellers, other sellers are very strict. When you enter into the compound, the gate will be closed and the buyer stays on the room with security. Even in Conakry. I brought 2 buyers in Conakry 2019 and 2020. You will be surrounded by the security company. And you will be surrounded by the workers of my head office. But to me, I'm not scared with anyone. I'm the woman. I travel to Africa. I don't have any security. Why are you scared for? Meaning to say you have a purpose. You have an agenda. You have a motive. You cannot do that. You are going to be arrested. You're a foreigner. Don't do that. As I've said to you many times, I think I mentioned that several times, that my friend John was being scammed by the Russian buyer of diamond. And the gun is on his head. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this video is for everyone. Mr. Buyer, Mr. Nigerian buyer, you're scrupulous really, to be honest with me. I play games with you because I want to know you. But on our conversation, you are signaling a red flag. But still, I've given you the opportunity to meet my seller. On that day, my seller did not like you. You broke the protocol. Your agent busy taking pictures of the documentation of my seller without any permission. So what happened? You failed, and then you apologized to Wilhelmina that you did not authorize your driver or your secretary to take a picture. It's too late. You've been in Sierra Leone for a month. You're looking for gold. So you are scrupulous. You're a mafia. You're a syndicate. At the end of the day, you didn't get what you're looking for. I've given you a good discount because I thought that you are a straightforward gentleman. You're not a gentleman to me. To me, I've given you the advice worth $1 million, but you are not able to pay my services. But it's okay. I would not entertain anyone, anybody, chain broker, joker broker, without proper reading the full corporate offer in front of you. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good afternoon.